Hey everyone, it's Dee from Dee's Divine Guidance here. I want to talk about narcissism today. This is going to be the first video of a series that I do on narcissism. I feel as though a lot of people need to hear these messages. A lot of us are in narcissistic, abusive relationships, and we don't know what it is. We're not aware of us being in them. So I feel like this series here is going to be a message that I've been told to push out to everybody, because there's a lot of us that are unaware of what it is, what it looks like, that you're in it, how to get yourself out of it, and how to recognize it. Okay, so this is what the series is going to be about. So this is the first video of the Narcissism series that I'm putting out here. And so today I want to talk about what is narcissism, okay? You know, many times we say, oh, that person's narcissistic, okay? Now listen, we all have narcissistic tendencies, all right? We all have narcissistic characteristics in us, all right? Some of us like to look and post selfies on Facebook. Some of us like to look in the mirror. Some of us like to talk about ourselves a lot. But what's the difference between somebody that has narcissistic tendencies versus who is actually a narcissist, okay? The definition of narcissism is excessive or erotic interest in oneself and one's physical appearance. So this is somebody that really is all about them, all right? And sometimes it doesn't look like that arrogant, I'm the best type of person, you know, where they're putting their shit all out there and saying like, you know, yeah, I'm good like that. Sometimes it doesn't come off like that. Sometimes it comes off as in insecurities, okay? But putting on a mask as though it's an insecurity that comes off as like, okay, they're a good person. Like many people, when you're in a narcissistic relationship, the people on the outside would not even have a clue. Because the way that the narcissist comes off to other people is they're a good person, that it's a good guy, you know, like, oh, he's a good guy, like he'd help me out, you know, he's always fun to be around, it's a good girl, like, yeah, she, you know, watches my kids for me, you know, it will come off as though they are good to other people, because that's the mask that they're putting on to other people. Now, in a relationship, it's a different story, because you get to see that one-on-one side with them. You're in it day in and day out with them, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So again, narcissism. So what are the signs of an actual narcissist? All right. And many times you could Google this all over the internet and it will tell you all different signs and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you kind of what it really looks like. And this is, again, from what I've dealt with. I've dealt with about 3 or 4 narcissists in my life, and all different types. And that's the funny part, is like, you know, they're not all like one size fits all. There's many different types of narcissists. So you have to be careful when you're, you know, dealing with people. One of the first signs about it is that they're all about themselves, okay? They bring everything back to themselves. What I've seen in them is like, you'll be having a conversation and you'll realize that like, okay, an hour later and we're still talking about them, okay? They might ask you a question, but as soon as it fits their checklist, it's back to them and their stories and their stories. I've dealt with 2 narcissists like this where they just keep talking and talking and talking, and here I am just listening and listening. I could tell you everything about their life, but I guarantee they can't tell you maybe 2 or 3 about mine. All right. So that is one trait of a narcissist, is that it's called unilateral listening, where conversations are always brought back to them. All right. You might say something, oh, like, yeah, I had a bad day. And they'll be like, oh, that sucks. Oh, I had a really bad day, you know, and it's always brought back to them. They want to talk about themselves a lot. Another sign is, again, it's all about me. So I want to do what I want to do. I want things to be the way I want them to be. Your opinions matter very little. Okay. Now, you might be saying, please don't turn this video off yet, because in the beginning of a narcissistic relationship, it doesn't look like this at all, right? So don't turn that video off just yet. Another sign is that the rules don't apply to them. They think they're above all. They think they're above the law. They think they're above, like, if you're in a relationship, you know, that whole, like, cheating thing, that doesn't apply to them, all right? So that's another sign. It's like, it's like a very, and like I'm saying, it doesn't come off as like an arrogant, conceited type of way. Some narcissists do, but many of the narcissists come off as though, you know, they're good people, but yet, you know, they could cheat because it doesn't matter for them. You know, it's the rules don't apply for them, but their partner, absolutely not. Okay, so that's another thing. So the rules don't apply to them. They think they're above all. And then this was the one that would drive me crazy, is another sign would be your concerns to them turn out to be criticisms of them. So anytime that I would sit down with my ex-husband, who's a narcissist, and anytime that I would sit down with him and try to express how I'm feeling, it would all of a sudden just be very defensive. Everything turns back onto me. Okay, I feel this way. I am wrong for feeling how I feel. Okay, it's not him. It's not him. It's not him. So any concerns that you have are always in their mind a criticism of them. And like I said in the very beginning, narcissism comes from a very deep-rooted insecurity. So when you try to bring up something that will, like, you know, challenge their image of themselves and to the rest of the world, that's not going to fly with them. Okay, so that will be very defensive. So if you feel like you cannot sit down and actually express your concerns to somebody, there's a good chance that person's a narcissist. Another one is that they're always right and you're always wrong. Okay, no matter what it is, and it could be like plain as day to you that you know that you're 100% correct. You know that it should not be this way. They're acting like ridiculous, yet they will always flip the switch and always tell you that it was your fault. Take, for example, say for example, you're going on a date with someone. Okay, this is like a test in the beginning of a relationship with a narcissist. You could do this. You're going on a date with someone and you tell them to pick you up at 7 o'clock and they show up at 7:05 and you say, you're late. Now, if they then flip it back and say, well, you didn't give me the right address, or you didn't really tell me the time, or you didn't do this, or you didn't say this, or you didn't tell, that is a sign of a narcissist, okay? So when in doubt in the very beginning of a relationship, try that trick out. The usual response would be like, yes, I'm sorry, I'm late, I hit traffic, okay? That's a normal person response, all right? If they are going to put it on you, that is a defense. Again, it's your concerns are criticisms of them. They might be late. Okay, no big deal. It's 5 minutes, but they make it seem like it's a big deal because you just criticized them. So that is one very big sign of the narcissist. And then the last one is quick to anger, and it's all your fault. So something you do, also criticizing them, it just popped in my head, like criticizing them out and about. Like, so say if you're out at a party and, you know, you make a joke about them, all right? And it's like a minor joke, like something about how maybe he drinks his coffee or how she wears high heels all the time or something like that. They will take that personally. And even though it was a joke, they will take that personally and then try to shame you and get back at you at that moment. Or they will, you know, and we'll talk about manipulation after in one of, I think it's like the third video that I'm going to do, is about they will then manipulate you, silent treatment, cold shoulder, guilt trips, like anything. But they're going to take that as a criticism to them, all right? And that's a narcissist. The one thing that I know about narcissists is that they do not have empathy. Okay, they might act like they do, but truly deep down, they do not have empathy, all right? Empathy for their spouse, empathy for their children, empathy for family members. The only person that they have empathy for is themselves. Like, and most of the time with the narcissists I know is that they don't even know what the word empathy is, okay? They literally do not even have an attachment to that word of empathy. They do not know, they do not understand because they've never felt it before. All right, so those are the signs of narcissism. So like I said, don't turn the video off yet because in the very beginning of relationships, it doesn't look like this. So the next video I'm going to do is about love bombing. All right, so stick with me and let it play and follow the next video for video number 2, all about love bombing. All right, what does the beginning of a relationship with a narcissist look like? All right, join me there. Thank you for joining me here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.